Google makes algorithm changes all the time, but these that have come in the past year are different. And it could be the difference between your law firm just surviving or thriving. Have you been feeling the pinch from these latest Google algorithm updates? Well, let's assess the damage and figure out what we can do to mitigate it and then come out better on the other side and actually turn this into an opportunity. Google algorithm updates can be absolutely devastating, but if you're ready to turn these challenges into opportunities, I'm going to show you how you can take these and turn them into big advantages for your law firm over other competitors in the same space. Welcome to another episode of the Optimized Law Firm podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Carver, and I'm the CEO of Constellation Marketing. The whole purpose of this podcast is to help you run a more enjoyable and profitable law firm. So we cover marketing topics, operations, pretty much anything that kind of fits with that mission statement. We work with 90 clients, focus on 6 practice areas, and we've been doing this for over 80 years now. So really excited to share some of our insights and help you stay ahead of the game. So even if you're not looking for a marketing company, happy to help, happy to share some of the latest trends out there and, really just try to help you make sense out of all of that information and noise that's out there in the marketing space. So today we are going to cover Google algorithm updates. And in particular, there's been a string of algorithm updates over the past year that have been kind of different in comparison to other updates in the past. And so we are going to help you understand how you can adapt your law firm's SEO strategy to these updates in 2024 and put yourself on a good, sustainable path for, not only the rest of the year, but into the future. And so we are going to cover everything about these updates, kind of what they are, how you can understand them with your firm. Then we're going to look at, assessing kind of the impact if you've been hit by one of these and how you can go about telling if you've been hit. And then finally, we are going to talk about how to minimize losses, what you can actually learn from them, and then ultimately turn that negative into a positive. So I'm really excited to get into the weeds on this one and get you guys on a path of, a proactive SEO strategy that's really going to benefit you for years and for months and years to come. So let's get started with the first section, understanding Google's core algorithm updates. And in this section, we're going to cover what Google core updates are, why they're so critical. We'll also cover improvements in Google's ranking systems, kind of what they're trying to do here, focused on AI content. And then I'm also going to touch on the spam policies, including how Google targeted AI-generated content in this last batch, and really understanding why they do these updates, what purpose they're serving. I think is really the first step to coming out on the beneficial end of this, so that you're not caught by surprise, and that if you have had a downturn in traffic and ultimately business, you can quickly resurrect that and move things in the right direction. So we noticed a pretty large shift in the amount of leads that were coming into our clients in July. So it was about roughly a 10% drop across the board for our clients from the organic SEO channel. And so that's obviously a pretty big deal, right, when it affects everybody like that. And so we started to do some more research, and we got to focus on a really just a single algorithm update that Google had done earlier this year. And Google core updates are very normal. They typically happen in the past about 4 times a year. It seems like they're doing more of them in this past year, that the frequency has seemed to increase, where they're going and kind of shuffling making big large scale changes to the algorithm. So this past group that they've done has felt a little different, because typically when we go through an algorithm change, we'll have a few people who are negatively impacted. And typically what happens during this is that they are changing something to the weighting of the algorithm. And so throughout the year, you have these core algorithm updates. You also have these smaller versions of them. Those are really, meant to kind of solve smaller issues and be more targeted or surgical. The broad core algorithm updates are going to be much more expansive, right? And so you may have heard about something like the YMYL, like Your Money, Your Life update a while back. And they all have kind of a specific purpose where they are seeing a trend out on the internet, and it's allowing people to benefit from the algorithm as it currently is. They, for whatever reason, don't believe that those people should be benefiting from that. And so they look to adjust the algorithm so that in their mind, the right people are getting rewarded with positions on search and ultimately traffic. And then for us in our vertical is going to be leads or sales with other websites. So these often happen, and you hear about it and you see a bunch of articles and news, and people try to kind of understand what they're all about. And then you notice a lot of activity, a lot of noise happening where you might see like one page that you have on your website just completely go vertical in terms of now it's like the number one page in the country, and you immediately get plugged into all of this traffic. And so we've seen this with our clients where they might be ranking for something like Immigration Lawyer Atlanta. And then because of a big update, Google effectively is like shuffling the deck, right? And so they've been having these consistent keyword positions. And then when you do something like this, it rewards them, and out of nowhere, they now become on the first page for Immigration Lawyer nationally, right? So their traffic just skyrockets. We've also seen it the other way, where people have individual pages that go down, right? They were ranking for something pretty well, and then the next day they're not ranking at all. After this initial, noise, you get into a process where they're fine tuning it over the next couple of weeks to where it's kind of smoothing out or balancing out, and they look to kind of see what impact those updates had, kind of listening to the community, doing their own assessment of, hey, did this really accomplish the goal that we wanted to? And from there, then they're going to kind of like pull it back a little bit or make those changes.